One more corner to go for Nicholas Latifi, and across the line he comes. He was 19th fastest, he stays 19th fastest, couldn't improve on his time at all. Grosjean stays as the driver very much at risk, and behind him Kimi Räikkönen improves, puts Grosjean down into the bottom 5. Giovinazzi improves but can't get out of the bottom 5. Räikkönen into Q2 at the moment, but I'm looking now, George Russell has set a personal best on the first sector, which matches Kimi Räikkönen's first sector on his last lap. Kevin Magnussen stays in that bottom 5, 19th as Gasly goes 4th fastest. Sebastian Vettel will be next to cross the line. George Russell is up on a time he needs to get out of the bottom 5. Vettel goes 7th fastest briefly because Alex Albon just goes ahead of him, and it's all eyes now on George Russell, the Saturday man, George Russell. And so far in his Formula One career, it's 32-0 against teammates. It's definitely going to be 33-0 at the end of this as Stroll goes 9th fastest. Russell crosses the line now and gets out of Q1. Magnificent effort from George Russell, who once again rises to the fore on a Saturday, and for the 7th time this season is into Q2.
Russell was similarly struggling for grip, wrestled it around and just sneaked into Q2. Good effort.
Ocon only 11th. Won't improve on that for this qualifying session. Verstappen will be next to cross the line. We can watch him out of the final corner. Was 3rd fastest, stays 3rd fastest, half a second off the pace. It's George Russell now for Williams. Personal best, 22.4 and a 30.0 for the first 2 sectors. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc, 22.4 and a 29.5 for the first 2 sectors. Russell goes ahead of Leclerc's teammate Sebastian Vettel and goes into 14th, but Vettel, as you can see, is improving through the middle sector on this latest lap. Leclerc's got the medium tyre on and stays 8th fastest. Can he be caught from behind, I wonder?
Yeah, that's good news for Ferrari at the moment, isn't it, that he can get through on those tyres.
Sebastian Vettel only 15th on the grid. For Sebastian Vettel, it's 8 races in a row that he's missed out on Q3, and Daniel Ricciardo is out of qualifying and off the track and just nudges into the barrier as well. 10th at the moment, and he should stay 10th and into Q3. Let's have a little look and see what happened to the Australian driver at turn 11.
Yeah, got in probably a touch later. He passed a couple of cars, cranked the steering wheel into the corner. He was a little bit wide, wasn't he? The track's dirty out there. That's not where they've been burning this groove, this racing line.
Sebastian Vettel out, George Russell out. Fiat starts 13th. Lance Stroll is also out, along with Esteban Ocon, whose teammate Daniel Ricciardo can at least breathe a sigh of relief.
14, Daniel, everybody's fighting the car a little bit on the way through there, and now his throttle foot is planted against the firewall and just coaxing the car through this final turn 15, scrubbing as little speed as possible. And Bottas, it's only a 16.9 though.
This is going to be really, really tight because they're trading personal best sectors, Hamilton and Bottas. Hamilton crosses the line, and by a few 100ths of a second, 4 100ths of a second, 47 thousandths of a second if you wish, Valtteri Bottas is on provisional pole.
Verstappen can have a run at that those late 1 minute 16s and 17.0 of the 2 Mercedes.
His middle sector hasn't been as good as the Mercedes, as Leclerc, 3rd fastest in the Ferrari. Sergio Perez, who starts 4th when he's in the mood, goes 4th. 4 times this season he started 4th on the grid. Here comes Verstappen, goes 3rd fastest. The middle sector wasn't great for Max Verstappen, and he lost a bit of time to the Mercedes there, but he's only a 10th off. And it looks like both Mercedes, Martin, or Hamilton definitely on the medium compound tyre. Bottas should be on the mediums and is on the mediums as well.
Too, yes, Bottas. So both Mercs, that maybe they just think that tyre will bite into the tarmac, but you've got to, Verstappen's out there on the soft tyre. Let's see. This is an unusual, you must say, an unusual decision for Mercedes.
Hamilton has set the fastest middle sector on this lap. Got a bit of time to make up on the first sector, but certainly going very well. Bottas will be on exactly the same tyre as well. Hamilton crosses the line, goes quickest. Provisional pole then for Lewis Hamilton with a 1:16.9. Now can Valtteri Bottas respond to him? 2/10 up through the first sector. Mercedes switching onto the medium compound tyre, and it's giving them even more pace at this moment in time. Bottas continues on his way then. Track temperature has stayed the same at 35 degrees, but the wind is gusting around here at Portimao. We are not that far from the sea, and there's a strong breeze coming across this track as we watch Bottas on his way then towards the end of the second sector. Lewis Hamilton has got time to go for it again because we've got 30 seconds to go, and he should make it to the line in time. So Hamilton will get 2 runs in here if he is fueled for 2 runs. Bottas should just be on the 1 run as his middle sector goes purple as well with a 29.4. Bottas was on pole for the Eiffel Grand Prix at the Nürburgring last time out. Bottas crosses the line and he's on provisional pole here in Portimao. Can Hamilton though respond to Bottas? Albon continues on his way, personal best through the middle part of the lap. He's got to continue that through the final part of the lap, sees the checker flag, goes 4th. Alex Albon onto the second row. Charles Leclerc has a 10th to make up on Alex Albon to try and get past the Red Bull. Here comes Max Verstappen, and Verstappen goes ahead of Hamilton, but Hamilton has just set purple in the middle sector. So Leclerc now goes 4th and puts his Ferrari on the second row. Verstappen is on the front row as Perez goes 5th for Racing Point. Verstappen's on the front row alongside Valtteri Bottas. One more man to cross the line. Can Hamilton get pole? Yes, he can, by a 10th of a second for Lewis Hamilton. It's a 9th pole in 2020. It's a 97th pole in his career. And on the weekend that he could break the record for the most wins ever by a driver in Formula One. He'll start the Portuguese Grand Prix at the head of the field.